show planned for us. It's awesome. Adam, you know the greatest people.
I have some of the greatest friends. Well, then there's you. But yes.
Folks, we are here at Springfield Improv right here in Springfield, Missouri with Class Act Productions. Sup, buddy?
How's it going?
Okay, so we know the weirdest people too, though, Adam.
That's part of it.
Why don't you introduce the
I am a picture of normalcy. I don't know what it's like.
Please welcome Class Act Productions.
Hey,
How's it going?
hi, we are Class Act Productions.
Introduce yourselves, and we'll get into why you're dressed like my worst nightmare a little bit later on in the show.
Which one?
All three of you.
Let's start with the
James.
one. Well, I'm James Choate.
Sean?
Who do you play?
And I play as Poppy.
We'll get to that, and we'll get into that a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk a little nerd because one of the funny, even though you guys are technically horror nerds or gore nerds, what do you call yourselves?
I consider myself an eccentric of the highest order that enjoys the eldritch.
Creepy.
Hence the odd.
Creepy.
Creepy.
Or creepy, I suppose. I guess we'll just go with just generic creepy. Yes,
when
I'm
when I wrote this show, my introduction for you was going to be, whenever I see a script and it says creepy guy, I assume you're talking about Sean Parker.
I tend to be typecast as the creepy guy a lot. I think it's all those prostitutes I killed a couple years back.
Or the
dead. You
get
never
cast-
get over that.
You get cast as a creepy guy. I'm usually short, angry, and psychotic.
Oh man, being the creepy guy is a passion of mine. I don't mind being the creepy guy. I like it when people cross the streets to avoid me. It's such a power.
I've actually seen that.
It's happened a few times. It happened to me today. So I was walking and I had the spinal cord and the shovel and the scalpels in my belt and my cloak. And people were like looking over and like kind of walking across the street. This one girl, I just instantly was walking behind her, and she kept looking over her shoulder at me, and I was like, she's gonna do it. She's gonna do that thing where she tries to find a reason to cross the street, and then she kind of does like this bishop angle across the street, and I'm just like, oh, that's delicious.
Yeah,
that's
when
you follow
You're not my
her,
normal
right?
victim
Yeah.
type.
One of my favorite things about all three of you, not only are you creepy, but you're very nerdy. So the first thing I want to talk about, and are you guys looking forward to this new Star Trek that's coming out from CBS?
Yeah.
I'm thrilled that CBS, I wish they would finally admit that they were wrong about the show in the first place, because they've never come out and said, you know what, we screwed up many, many years ago, and we're sorry.
Are you talking about the prequel Star Trek that came out years ago?
No. I mean, the original. When the original came out, and the CBS decided it was awful and cut to the
Oh,
end.
yeah,
I
that's
feel like we're
silly.
still owed an apology. for
Yeah,
that.
they're regretting that. You know, speaking of Star Trek, Star Wars, for example, George Lucas, the producers were like, this is never going to take off.
Right.
We'll give them complete rights to the Star Wars franchise. No one's going to like it. And then, they're regretting that as well,
Yeah.
I suspect.
Well, my least favorite person involved with the show, Jonathan Frakes, I still can't stand him. He's still around and still very much involved with the show, and apparently he decided to give us a little spoiler for Star Trek Discovery. You guys remember the mirror universe that they created?
Yes.
I figured you would love that.
Evil Star Trek characters because they have a goatee.
That's right.
So they're actually
Spock with a goatee.
and this is a spoiler for those of you that don't want to know this. Too bad. They're gonna be touching on that mirror universe in Discovery.
Oh, delicious. Okay.
Well, now I'm looking forward to Shaniqua being on this show because I love Shaniqua. The minute she left Walking Dead, she said she had a job. I was thrilled that it was Discovery, but
Yeah, it's amazing that she left The Walking Dead, a very successful show.
Yeah.
It's like, man, what is she going to follow? What is she going to walk away from The Walking Dead?
Did she
instead
really
of walking?
leave? Or did she get killed off?
well, it was due for someone to die at that point anyway. But
And she had this other show she could have been a part of. She's like, okay.
This Star Trek Discovery. I mean, if you walk out of Walking Dead into a Star Trek,
Well,
now have you guys heard a lot about Discovery at all? You think it's going to be at least a little bit successful?
give me a basic thesis of Discovery.
I don't know much. I know that it's in between. It's in between Kirk and Picard.
Yeah.
Well, it's either in between Kirk and Picard.
Well,
in between,
no, because there's a big amount of
it's
distance.
in between Bakula and Kirk, is what it is.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And they're going to touch on the mirror universe, which that's the big spoiler. I don't care.
Well, here's the thing.
I know you guys like the mirror universe.
Mirror Universe is awesome. I like sinister versions of characters that I normally see as good guys. So
Right.
the Mirror Universe really allows. Obviously, I'm into the darker stuff. So
I was
you
not
get
a
to
fan
see-
of it when Enterprise did it.
Yeah.
I've read books when Next Gen did it. I thought, wow, they really went over the top for this.
Yeah, they missed opportunities to do that with the Next Generation
They
series.
did it in the books, and it was okay.
Okay. Good.
DS9 handled it well.
Did Picard have like a full head of hair, and that's what made him evil?
Hey, that's officially the craziest thing I've ever heard.
Wait, Sean, so would your mirror version have hair?
Oh yes, long ones, and he'd be very nice, and he would never jump scare
He
anybody
would be
ever.
like a preppy, wouldn't he?
Probably,
He'd
yeah.
be like,
I'd be like,
Mr.
what's my
Corporate."
mirror version here for me? And then I'd walk over and he'd like have long flowing blonde hair and he'd be like, I just erected an orphanage down in a third world country. What did you do?
I
It's like,
burned down an orphanage.
I
in a
told the
third
girl
world
I was going
country.
to strangle her till she passed out, then disembowel her. Oh, you reprobate. Yeah, I'm not liking Mirror Me.
I think mirror you is more terrifying than the real you.
In a weird sort of way,
Yeah.
there's a dichotomy with something is so cute, it's creepy, you know, like a teddy bear that can talk. And it's not saying anything nasty, it's just like, I want to hug you, let's spread the love. It's like,
Kill it with fire.
absolutely.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, you're actually a really big Star Trek fan. You would love to walk on a Star Trek set, wouldn't you?
Star Trek would be fun to walk on to. I'm more Doctor Who side of things, though.
Oh, your favorite subject.
Moving on, and I know that I feel like and correct me if I'm wrong, Adam, he would make a great Romulan or Klingon.
Oh, it's the brow.
No.
Yeah.
It's the big brow,
So-
isn't it?
What, Doctor?
Yeah.
You know, you actually remind me, because we were thinking of the original series, Sulu. Actually, whenever he goes crazy and he's doing his martial arts, and
Yeah,
he's all
yeah.
sweaty. I don't know, for some reason.
You imagine me as
Sweaty,
like
yeah.
doing martial arts and sweaty.
Okay.
Interesting, Adam.
Oh my!
I mean, I imagine you as martial
I
arts.
mean, a
sweaty
few
all the
people
time.
have, I'm certain. It's just from you,
Yeah,
that's
there's a whole fan fiction on Sean doing martial arts and being sweaty.
I'm going to immediately jump into the next topic. Correct me if I'm wrong, you're a gamer.
Yes.
And you're a gamer.
Yes.
And so,
I'm a hardcore gamer too. You glaze over me. Minecraft for the win and Ark Survival Evolved. Mwah.
I'll give
Well,
you
you're gonna love
survival,
this.
but Minecraft, you're dead to me.
you're going to love this. This is from Nintendo Direct, fans of Big N. We're excited to find out that two of their huge franchises is coming to the Nintendo Switch. I don't know. I mean, we already know that Skyrim. You can't not do Skyrim.
Right.
It's
Right,
so
yeah.
successful.
I mean, I'm not a
It's
fan
like
of it,
what, 6
but
years later, and people are still playing the heck of that
It's like,
game.
I'm
And
not-
the mods.
I actually like some of the cosplay I see from it.
I'm not a big Skyrim fan, but it
Still playing.
would be a mistake not to put it on.
Skyrim belongs to the Nords.
So you're a fan,
still
is what
playing
you're saying?
Yeah.
My son and I still play Oblivion.
Dude,
I
I
mean,
played
Oh, yeah.
Morrowind was my game. That and then
Morrowind
after
was
that, I
cheap.
kind of lost.
So they're gonna do, and this is coming up, and I believe it's next year, right? Which you would think they would have it in time for Christmas this year.
they're worried about having things to sell during Christmas.
Oh,
Switches.
really?
Oh, they're
They're
already
supposed
saying we may not have enough Switches for Christmas.
Yeah,
No,
that's
to actually get the.
Wow.
yeah.
Every
I'm
time
trying to get
Nintendo
more Black
brings
Friday.
out a
Kid
new.
you not.
They're
Trying
saying
to
buy
get
them
more
now.
Black Friday.
They're saying buy them now
Have
because they just
fun.
made a whole
You're
bunch.
gonna put your martial arts
Right.
train to the test, I
Yeah.
suspect.
But what's coming up is Doom.
Oh,
Love Doom.
yeah.
How could you not?
For
I mean,
Nintendo.
Doom.
For Nintendo Switch.
That's
I mean,
interesting.
I actually.
Oh,
I think that fits because the original Doom, you know, it was very
It was on the
pixelated. It was
NES.
very
Yeah.
blocked,
Yeah.
but it was
Was it on
awesome.
Nintendo as well?
No.
I want
No,
to see
That's
what
it,
happens.
PC?
Started as PC.
I want to see what happens, what Nintendo does with it. You know,
Yeah.
because it could go one of two ways. Now, what I find interesting is if they're doing Doom, the next title makes no sense to me. Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus.
I love Wolfenstein.
But why do both at
Why
the
not?
same time?
You know, I don't think there's enough first-person shooters out on the market right now.
Yeah,
That's why.
right.
You know what? We need another.
What would
we
you
need
double?
another Call of Duty. I'm real. I haven't seen one in a while.
Well,
No.
if you guys were to make a suggestion, and we'll start at the very end, if you were to make a suggestion for Nintendo to get off their butts, and make a good game for the Switch, and have it out by Christmas, what would you want to see?
What I'd really like to see is that new remake of Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Oh,
for
yes!
Nintendo Switch.
Oh,
that
high
would be
definition,
completely
Conker's
awesome.
Bad Fur Day
Conker's
was
Bad
such
Fur
a
Day.
brilliant
It
game.
was such a brilliant game. It was really underrated at the time, even though it was the very first Nintendo 64 game to get a mature
Right.
rating.
Yeah.
And
Right.
that was just way out of their box, and they were just like, oh, we're just going to trash this. But then people started playing it, and they started loving it just because it was just so unique in its own
Right.
way.
And they brought those over to Banjo-Kazooie as well.
Yep.
with that, except it was more for children.
So, yeah, going back, Conker's Bad Fur Day would be excellent. I remember feeling like I was so naughty whenever I was young.
Oh, yeah.
Especially like the scene where the bee pollinates the flower and it happens like really early on and you like hear the moanings and stuff and your mom's like, what are you doing in there, Sean? I'm like, I'm not watching bee on flower porn, Mom. Don't judge me. And I'm mute. So raunchy. But Rare made Conker's Bad Fur Day like that because Conker was originally supposed to be a cutesy character, but they were afraid that it was going to be too much like Banjo-Kazooie, so they went the exact opposite direction with that franchise.
No, we don't have nerdy friends.
Now, if you're asking me about a game that I would like to see Nintendo do, I know this
Switch is going to be amazing.
I know this is technically a Capcom title, but Mega Man has been sorely overlooked.
There's been a resurgence.
I think they're going to do.
Yeah, there's been a
Really?
resurgence.
If you're
he's been
Nintendo,
in
you
the-
have to do a Mega Man.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
been in the Smash Brothers games.
Yeah.
You
He's
gotta do one.
But a
A
full-on
full-on game.
independent
Good one.
Mega Man-like
Yeah.
title. You've got the 8 Robot Masters, and it's just the traditional
as
format.
long as
with
hopefully
better
they do
graphics.
better by him than it did Sonic.
Yeah, let's not get into
Oh
that.
boy, Sonic the Hedgehog, that's a franchise that just kept skyrocketing up as time went on.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for the re-release of Pitfall. So.
Oh, yeah.
You know, oh my
Oh
god.
man.
Wow, he went there.
Actually,
Did they make that into a movie?
Did they?
I think they did.
Oh, we
Yeah,
need to
I
see
remember
this.
seeing a
It's like the
Land
most
movie with
stupid
that.
It's like
thing
90s or
to
something.
me.
Yeah.
I want to see that.
I feel-
Does he jump on alligators?
My brain remembers a bad
Say Frogger.
No, it's what they did with Mario and make the movie.
But at least we got him to admit that he's seen it.
Yeah.
He saw Mario.
How about the Street Fighter movie?
Bob
That was
Hoskins.
riveting.
Whatever his name is.
Bob Hopkins.
Bob
Actually,
Hopkins.
the first animated version of that is still like it was actually
Yes.
to me that I consider that was my first anime,
Yeah.
and it was so good. I sat at VisionCon in the anime room and watched that entire movie while
Oh, wow.
while there was parties going on over here and gaming over here. I'm watching it Street Fighter.
And didn't they have like a soundtrack by Korn?
Yeah, they had a great soundtrack for the animated for the first
Yeah,
anime.
the
It was
animated,
amazing.
Yeah, I'm cool
Yeah.
with the animated one.
The
I'm talking
live
about
action
the John
one
Quan
with-
Van Damme.
Oh my goodness.
Oh god.
I actually
Yeah.
seen a picture of him, from that pose on the internet the other day. I was like, oh my god, wow.
Raul
memories.
Julia
Yes.
as a Bison was great, but that's like the only good thing.
You know
Gomez Adams was the main villain in Street Fighter.
Oh yeah.
So, not to like reveal how nerdy I am, but you know why Raul chose that role?
Hmm.
Because his kids wanted to see him in that movie. Otherwise, he would have declined the role.
For Street Fighter?
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah.
He did it for his kids. And I think
Yeah.
that was like one of his last roles before he died, too.
Yeah, it was, because
Watch
he
out.
was in the Adams Family before he
Maybe
died.
it's-
And your,
But we don't
acting
remember
career
him
in
for
a
Street
high
Fighter,
note.
we remember him for the Adams Family.
Oh, absolutely.
Folks, so we are sitting here with Class Act Productions. They're proving that they're not just great actors.
That was
they're-
old business.
They are
Now on to new business.
So nerdy.
Quoting Adam's Family.
We don't talk about new business until next quarter.
We're going to step out and deal with some sponsors, and when we come back, we're going to find out exactly why they're dressed like my worst nightmare. Actually, it looks a lot like my last wedding.
Oh, a lot of leather and like bondage. Huh?
You got a guy in makeup, a guy in a trench coat, and then a creepy dude in gloves wearing a suit.
A lot like my ex-wife. Anyway,
Kinky stuff.
back in about a minute. commercial for SpaCon, which Fanatics and fans are going to be at. Be sure and check that out next week. And if you're anywhere near Hot Springs, Arkansas, next weekend, it's going to be awesome. So you be sure and check it out. And of course, we're going to have all kinds of interviews and stuff from that. And we're back here with the folks from Class Act, and I think they got some stuff going on. Correct me if I'm wrong, would all of you consider yourself horror nerds?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
Or
absolutely.
at least a
Yeah.
gore nerd?
Do we need to touch on the fact that, at least locally, everybody can see you're all involved with the Hotel Terror, right?
Two of us are.
I was a little
Yeah,
bit.
You were. I
There you
know.
go.
I've seen you there, but you guys can go get your bejesus scared. I mean,
Actually,
Sean.
if Sean is around you, you can get your Jesus
So,
scared.
for those of you that don't know, I also play Jack the Ripper at the Dungeons of Doom.
And he
That's
will
why I
stop
got these.
That's partially my fault. I cast him in a show as Jack the Ripper, and then they're like, "Oh, you were Jack the Ripper? Do you want to run London at the Dungeon of Doom?" I
Yeah.
was like, "Well, I have experience."
So yeah, if you go to the Dungeon of Doom Facebook page, you can see all sorts of videos with me
And you
grinding
gotta-
on.
What's great about it, and we don't have to keep on about what's great about it, is he stalks you.
Yeah.
You don't see him initially; he sees you first. And
Yeah.
it's awesome.
The best thing about it is,
I'm very sneaky.
the best
and
thing
quick.
about it is,
I seen him good
trained
last night, so.
I trained this man at the Hotel Terror, and he surpassed me in a week.
Well,
Yeah.
And then you brought me to the
You
theater.
And then I brought him into the theater world, and we haven't gotten rid of him.
And then you're bringing a Scarecrow, or what are you this year?
I am the clown
You
at
doing
the
it?
Hotel Terror.
In the clown.
Speaking of the clown,
Yeah.
we
Oh,
can't
good
not
segue.
talk about this, and I'm going to talk about it quickly. We're not going to do any spoilers because a lot of people actually haven't. I don't know who hasn't seen this movie yet, but a lot of people haven't.
Sorry. I'm going to see it.
I'm seeing it Monday.
According to
You're gonna see what?
According to Variety,
But what's the movie?
Stephen King's It has shattered all the box office records when it
Yeah.
comes to horror movies.
Yeah.
Even beat Deadpool.
Well, I mean, yeah, but just in just a horror genre,
Just in a
Yeah.
it
rated
shattered-
R horror.
It broke all the records, and this was just on just over that one weekend.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
On the first opening
We
weekend,
sold
considering
out
how many, and you
Friday,
and I talked about
Saturday,
this
Sunday.
earlier, Sean, considering how many bad opening weekends we've had in the last month, have it just destroy
Absolutely
everything else.
dominates. Yeah.
Just destroy everything else. And people are still talking about it.
And as a redone movie, because the original was just so good, everybody's like, oh no, how can you?
You
how
are
can you
afraid
surpass
that it
Yes.
was going to be hokey and ruin the memory of the
And it
original
just
Tim
wasn't.
Curry.
Starting
of
with
course.
Pippin, because
Yes.
like I said, you guys are horror nerds. What other thing would you like to see redone?
Redone?
Well.
Redone well. Honestly, I would like a good remastered version of Nightmare on Elm Street because that last one was just. I love Jackie Earl Haley, and he would have been great as Freddy Krueger had the script been so
Who
much
could play
better.
Freddy Krueger now?
I mean, that is the good question. I
What are you
mean-
doing? What are you doing next year?
Yeah,
Sean?
Sean. Sean's too tall to be Freddy. Freddy's supposed to be a little dude.
It's no Freddy Krueger. I probably could have a fun time with that role, but I preferred like actual serial killers, like historical
Actually-
characters.
I think if you got into that mindset, which I'm afraid you would,
I'm always in that
you
mindset.
would love Freddy
Yeah.
Krueger.
Oh yeah.
Especially like, I hate to say it, but not just the first one, but like the first three.
Yeah.
If you really get into that
The second
particular
one-
character,
The second
Uh,
one.
he was so, but I'm not saying it was good,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you can use it as
Yeah, yeah.
information for the character because there was a lot of Freddy Krueger character stuff there in that second.
And then there's
A
Freddy
lot
versus
more-
Jason.
I
Yeah.
actually.
Hey, we
like
weren't going
Freddy
to talk about
versus
that.
I liked it. I liked it a lot better than Jason X.
A lot of horror franchises that I've noticed, even like Halloween to some extent, which I think we can talk about that. But like Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street, they start off really strong, and then they start going to this.
I don't feel like every
hokey
horror
level.
flick has to have a sequel.
Oh yeah.
No,
well,
they don't.
look at Saw. I felt like the first Saw could have been one and done.
Yeah,
like after the
right.
second
Yeah.
Saw, I was like,
There's
ugh.
a
What
movie.
would you like to see, Sean?
I would have liked to have seen. I was horribly disappointed in this. Going back to it and talking about horrible remakes or like prequels.
Or
whatever.
great remakes if we want to see.
Well, no, I mean like being afraid that
Right.
something that you loved was just ruined.
Right.
The Thing prequel
Yeah.
ticked
That's,
me
yeah.
off. It took all the elements
I
that
did
made
want
the
to
John Carpenter masterpiece so good and creepy, and it just like pooped on them, and then it rubbed that bag of poop in your face. It's like, here, smell your nostalgia now.
If
I
I hadn't
actually-
fallen asleep, I would have walked out.
I actually remember seeing the original, and there were parts of the original that just freaked me out.
Oh yeah. The
Especially when they
kennel
started
scene.
messing with the whole blood thing.
Yeah.
With the blowtorch.
Yeah.
Because I didn't expect him to do that particular effect. I'm like, oh my god! I was done with the thing forever.
I'd like to see Nosferatu.
Oh,
that would
yeah.
be a pretty good remake. I mean, that
Old
if you
school.
really if you really think
Right.
about it, Nosferatu would be considered one of the first vampiric beings in a horror film.
Yeah, that was a silent movie.
Yeah, it
too.
was a silent movie, so they really had a low budget to work with, but still, they made it.
William Dafoe kind of did that with, it was like kind of the making of, it was like the...
Like Interview with the Vampire or something?
No, he played Nosferatu. He played the
Yeah.
actor, I think, that played Nosferatu, and it was kind of like he was actually really freaky in real
Oh,
life.
good.
Yeah.
William Dafoe is. I love
I would
him.
look,
He's
if
such
you
a
haven't
good
seen that
creepy
movie and
actor.
you like Nosferatu,
Live
definitely
action
definitely
Rick and
check that
Morty.
out.
Willem Dafoe needs to play Rick.
Yes. So now we're all fans of the movie Halloween.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know that they're redoing it.
Yeah.
And you know they recently announced. They announced in February they're redoing it, but they announced earlier this week that Jamie Lee Curtis is returning.
Yes.
Any thoughts as to how?
I mean,
I'm
she's-
kind of curious.
She's the Scream Queen.
Because she needs money.
But how are they?
That's
They
true.
killed that character permanently.
They did. They killed her. And I remember her. She got.
So how
She
do
kissed
you-
him and was like, "I love you, Michael," and then she died.
Unless it's like a remake. again,
Either a
they-
remake
they-
or kind of a going back in
Like,
time to show some
The
period.
Yeah.
clip I saw looked actually, although what's funny, she looked a lot like Carol.
She did. I thought it was Carol from Walking
What is
Dead. Yeah.
this?
She's looked
I
like
think
that
it's a
for years.
flashback.
Yeah.
I think I'm
It's all that
hoping-
Activa.
Something that's got to be really weird about it.
So, folks, we're sitting here with, of course, my buddy from the Art of Nerd, Adam Bass, and the creepiest, just weirdest people I could possibly find in this Springfield.
You're making my ears bleed.
To talk about some upcoming stuff in Class Act. So, what exactly? First of all, before I even get into the madness that is this and the creepy little mask over there, is that last year's mask? Sean.
Yes, I could.
Yeah.
You want? I can pull up any of these
Is it the
props,
head?
but
Or this one right
Oh,
here?
you're talking about
Is that
this.
last year's mask? 'Cause
That-
This
yes, that is.
I don't know how you act in that, man.
That
I
is my
swear.
helmet, actually.
Well,
I didn't
because
know I
it's
didn't have
it's
that.
lip syncing, I don't have to say anything. So, for example,
Just the-
it's a thankless job that somebody's got to do it. What if I actually had to sing it with the helmet on? I sound like the Tasmanian devil.
So tell us about Class Act Productions, because you guys do everything.
Yeah, we do a lot of shows. We're currently started doing parodies of Supernatural, and we're still doing Batman.
Which I've heard actually
Well
good
received.
reviews about it.
We actually
It's
just
fun. It's
did
a fun
the
show.
Scarecrow episode
Right.
last night, and I was the Scarecrow because I have a thing for scarecrows.
That's gross.
We're not gonna get into it. Let's just say I have hay fever.
Oh,
boy.
Don't you
But-
itch afterwards?
I don't want to talk about it.
Sometimes you
Oh!
can in the middle of cornfields.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna be in the editing room all night.
I mean, children of the corn, man. I mean, you know.
I think
No,
we're kind of about PG-13-ish.
With
Yes.
PG-13 with Supernatural and Batman, and then we got Grave Tales.
Now hold
which
on,
is-
before we even jump out of Supernatural, you guys did something that not everybody's able to do with the Skinwalkers episode.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yep.
And I actually got a chance to talk to the actors from that last
Yes.
night. Why don't somebody explain what you
I
actually
actually
did?
directed that episode for that, and
I gotta tell you that was brilliant.
yes, thank you.
I didn't know that Drew acted.
Yeah, Drew Dennett, the guy that plays Dean, Nick, has a identical twin brother.
Right.
And so when we came across the Skin episode where there are two Deans on camera, Nick was like, my brother's going to do it, and we're surprised because we've been trying to get him to do a twin gag with the Flash in Batman. We wanted Nick to be the Flash
Right.
and have his brother in a Flash costume, so
Which would be a fun
made it
effect.
look like they're running, and he wouldn't do it, so we can never do the Flash. And eventually we get to this episode, and he was like, yeah, I'll do it. You know?
There is a
And-
fight scene at the end of that episode where Dean and his brother are fighting. They're
Right.
dressed in the same costume. They look the exact
Yeah.
same while Don't Fear the Reaper is playing. And I got confused as to who was who in that fight.
And the best part is, the guy playing Sam was sitting on the side of the stage rooting for the wrong Dean. 'Cause at first, he's sitting there, at first it was an accident because I lost track of when it was real. But then then I realized which one was the real team, and I'm like, I'm just gonna go with it.
I heard there was some rather rated R reactions to that from the audience.
Like people like
When they both were on stage at the same time.
Oh, I had a
Audience.
friend that
Yeah.
saw the show, and he was like, "I have no idea what the hell is going on."
Yeah. They were like, he walked on stage at first. He's like, all right, he sounds kind of different, but that's Nick.
Yeah.
And
Right.
then they both showed up on stage, and everyone's like confused,
What
not
is
knowing
going
what's going
on?
on. Not a lot of people know that Nick has a twin brother.
Right.
Well, a lot of them do now. I
They do now. I mean, there's some differences. You can tell which one's which, but when they're both facing the opposite direction,
So tell us about Grave Tales.
Grave Tales is actually one thing that me and Sean tag team on. He's main one in charge, and he seeks my advice occasionally, not much.
So out of the
Every
mind
now
of-
and then.
out of the
Every
mind
now
of
and then.
Sean Parker, we get Grave Tales.
Yeah, you hear Grave Tales. It's mainly Sean Parker.
So back.
Oh, hey Danielle.
It was pretty quickly extrapolated early on that I was kind of into spooky things.
Yeah.
And
No!
George, yes, right, crazy. And George and Kevin Kepi wanted to have a horror show, kind of like Tales from the Crypt. And so me and Pippin were chosen to be the ones to run the show.
Right.
And we just started this whole Grave Tales thing, and I was running low on scripts one day, and I was like, you know what, I could probably write a script that's pretty creepy. And I started writing for the show, and I got a taste for it. I'm probably
Which
more
one was the first show you wrote?
host to host.
Host to host.
About the parasite that
Yeah.
So we have a budget with Class Act, obviously. So whenever I'm writing this script, I'm like, and then he rips open his chest, and this gnarly looking parasite comes out, and I'm like,
That's a good point.
we don't have the budget or the special effects for this. So Kevin basically has the actor go, now I will show you what happens on the inside. And he turns his back to the audience and opens up his coat, and you hear this like demonic screeching, implied worm coming out of his chest. But it worked great for the show.
Yeah, that's a good point. If you've seen any of the Class Act productions, Grave Tales is not something you take your 7-year-old to.
Oh no.
They have.
No,
They have.
But it is dark. It is gory. There is subject lines of rape and murder and
I was
torture.
actually one of those
Schizophrenia.
guys. I was in a show that touched on the 3 big most uncomfortable things, which was
Blue-eyed killer.
It was Blue-eyed Killer, which two
Which
of the
I
big
wrote, by
ones.
the way.
Sounds a lot like my ex-wife.
Oh gosh.
Basically, what it was about rape and incest. Basically, and it was pretty much 2 people target each other. One was the murderer, the other was the rapist.
Mhm.
But
And-
you don't know who's who at the
Yeah,
start.
you don't
Oh
know
my
who's who at the
goodness.
start. You don't know who's who.
But you know at the end, don't you?
I do now. I
Something-
was there, and let's just say I am not comfortable with how I die.
Why don't you expound on that a little bit so the audience knows what
Oh.
experience they'll get a Grave Tales.
Yeah, let's see. By the end of it, I had been paralyzed, stabbed, my eyes gouged out, and I had been castrated. So, you know.
Sounds a lot like a Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones,
episode.
Yeah, it was modern Game of Thrones.
Grave Tales has some brutal stuff on it that you're not going to see at any other. I promise you. We're a smaller venue, but you're not going to see anything like Grave Tales anywhere else in this town.
Yeah.
Sometimes people will walk away, and I will see they are physically disturbed. In Blue-Eyed Killer, during the castration scene, whenever Helena, who's a fantastic actress, you guys both
Love
know
Helena.
Yeah, she's great.
She's amazing. She's a staple in Grave Tales. She's in a lot of the episodes, but she was the killer in Blue-Eyed Killer. And when she's taking off Pippin's belt right before she's about ready to castrate him,
I still have
can see
nightmares.
people cringing in the audience, right? And she's like, and all it took was one little cut, and then she cuts off his junk, right?
My leg twitched when you said that.
Pops. he pops a blood pack right with the cut, so you hear the blood pack snap.
Oh yeah.
And there were some dudes in the audience looked like they were going to come out of their skin. They were so uncomfortable about it. It was such a delicious experience to watch.
Before we run out of time, why don't you each talk about your character that you
Actually,
play
we're going to do that. Let's do that after break.
after
We're
break?
going to take a quick break and find out what's going on with the Heroes Alliance, as well as our sponsor, our Art Vindicta, as well as OMG Marketing. And we'll come back and find out about, Well, we get about the young lady on the end that is just as creepy as the other three.
And she's so pretty though.
Let's
thank
recreate
you.
a scene real quick.
No. You're right.
We'll be right back.
Fanatics and the Fan, and we're here talking Repo the Genetic Opera. Why don't you guys explain each of your characters in this?
And
Yeah,
hopefully for those of us that don't know, so we're not going to spoil anything. So don't go watch the movie, come out and see them here at the Springfield Improv, but tell us about everything.
Well, first of all, also say the basic premise is it's not your normal thing. Like,
No,
you guys-
no.
What are you gonna do? You do it special.
So-
tell you about the special, the way you pull this off.
The movie came out in 2008 originally, and I watched it, and since then I wanted to do it as a stage show. So I've been trying for years and years and years to get this on stage, and 3 years ago, this will be our third time doing it, George let me do it, and he loved it.
Here at the Springfield Improv.
Here at the thing. So this Repo is just my love child.
Right.
This is all me. I love it to death. Nobody knows more about this movie than me.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
What I was getting at is when you come, you're actually seeing the movie.
Yes.
While you guys act.
We
Explain
are-
how you figured that out. I
we
mean,
are-
Who came up with that idea? Is that
It was actually a thing I looked up on the internet because I was looking up how to do the show because I was wanting to actually perform it, and I found out that you can't perform the show. You can only do a thing called what is called a shadow cast.
Like Rocky Horror.
Like Rocky Horror does it sometimes. What we do is they play the movie on the front of the stage, which other shadowcasts don't do what we do. They will play the movie on the curtain, and they will act out the thing on the front of the stage. I've never seen one that uses a full stage. So I'm like, I don't want to do that. I don't want it on the curtain. I don't want us being in front of the movie because I feel like that's a distraction. So I decided to put 2 TVs on either side of the stage to where we can act it out. We have the whole stage to ourselves. That all the energy is focused on us. You're not looking up to see what's going on in the movie and not on stage.
But the audience members can like glance
Yeah,
over
they can
and
go
get caught
glance at
up
the
where the
movie,
scene
get caught
is
up.
versus what's happening on
And
stage.
they kind of have to, because correct me if I'm wrong, there's audience participation in this
Oh
particular.
Yes,
yes,
there is.
Absolutely.
We have people that antagonize the audience to get involved and like they'll boo, they'll cheer. We even had people sing along once, which it is encouraged.
Yes.
It's
Sean, you're used to
encouraged.
people booing you. Like I've seen people doing it when you're walking on the street.
Yeah.
Frank! Why don't you leave this town? Quit dragging that prostitute corpse behind you!
Fine. If you want me to stop doing that, I will. No, no,
Prostitute corpse I drag.
no yelling at you.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
of course.
But yeah, we have a lot more props than other shadowcasts do as well, and we're more full in costume and more invested into it. We put on an entire light show.
Now,
for
Sean,
this.
I personally love the actor that you're portraying.
Nathan Wallace.
When I
I
first,
feel a kindred spirit with him.
I mean, I originally discovered him, of course, from Buffy, and then the more he was on the show, the more you discovered about him and his talent.
Oh, you mean Anthony Stewart Head, the actual
Yeah.
actor?
Yes.
Okay.
I was waiting for you to catch up to.
Yeah.
It's okay.
How does
Sometimes
it
the
feel
gears
to-
are going.
How does
They
it
grind
feel
a
to
little.
portray that particular? I mean, you're playing someone who's amazing.
Legendary.
Oh man. Yeah, there's a lot.
Well, I'm not as handsome or classy as Anthony Stewart.
He's got more
Head.
hair than you.
He's got a little bit more hair.
You sing pretty close to him, though.
Well, whenever I actually sing.
I've heard you. I got a sneak preview last night.
Oh yeah, you got it last night during karaoke. I feel like during the Shadowcast, I will almost sound exactly like
Yep.
Anthony Stewart Head. Like, you come watch the show, I swear, you will swear that I am just lip syncing to him.
Now, Danielle, you're
Yeah.
playing Shiloh again.
Yeah, I am.
Well, yes, she came. We didn't really introduce her, so let's.
She snuck in because and she's in
My
costume.
daughter.
And
Danielle. She's been, everyone here has been in Repo since day one.
nice.
James has only been Pavi for
For
2
2
years.
years.
Yeah.
I started
But-
out as an extra, and then I've wanted to play Pavi ever since the first year. Been fighting for it. I finally got a
Anyway,
chance.
Did he finally get over his whole hatred of hate people that are taller than him?
No, I still hate him. No,
Why'd you
Danielle was the minute I saw her, I wanted her for Shiloh. She just had the look I wanted. I mean, she didn't have black hair then, but you know, I set that aside.
She molded herself with a
yeah.
pizza.
So she's always been, she was my number one choice from the minute I saw her, and I couldn't be any prouder.
Aw, thank
Honestly.
And this is your last show, Shy, isn't it?
you. This is a good chance this is my last show.
Well, shame on you.
Well, I'm
It
moving
is.
to LA for college to be an actress.
Don't worry, I'll recast you.
So,
I'm joking. I
But
love
you can't come back and play Shiloh.
well,
You know
No,
we
I'm
don't
coming
get you
back
as much as
next
we do.
summer, so maybe it's iffy right now.
But another iconic person plays Shiloh in the movie.
Right.
Alexa Vega.
I was
Yeah.
going there. I was going there. I was going to ask the exact same question.
Yeah.
Because I mean, these are all iconic. I mean, some of the most amazing actors and actresses.
Yeah.
And you guys are portraying them in, I mean, different,
Yeah.
but still a legendary.
I'm not
Right.
as tall as Bill Moseley.
You're not as tall as
No.
all of actors.
Yeah.
You're not as tall as Tom Cruise.
No, that's okay. So
Yeah, what's Tom Cruise like?
You're
5'6"?
6".
I'm closing in on Kevin Hart, buddy.
Anyway, back to Danielle. Let's get off my height.
The new Spider-Man's taller than him a little
Oh, you mean like the high school kid?
He's 20. I'm 30, but he's 20.
So how do you feel about the role that you play?
I
Again,
mean-
without telling all the spoilers, because you've got to come down to Springfield Improv and see this show. I was able to see it first time, so I had no preview. So wow, and actually everybody that was here was playing the role that you're playing right now. So, and I didn't like none of y'all for 3 days. I'm serious, because I didn't know what I was walking into.
You like me now?
I feel the
I
love.
like it too.
You know,
Yeah.
what Hawk is saying is true, because I experienced it the same way. I had never seen the movie before, and that's the best way. If you haven't seen the movie, don't watch it first. Come in, because you actually watch the movie while you watch these amazingly talented people act it out. And if you have seen the movie, then you'll just enjoy it that much more. But yeah, definitely come out and do it. But yes, let's continue. Let's talk about the characters.
I mean, I absolutely love it, and Alexa, you know, I know her from Spy Kids, so I mean, I love playing the role, and it's definitely different from what I usually play. I usually play a more stronger character than what she is.
She's pretty strong towards the end, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
towards the end she's strong. At first she's not.
Yeah.
James?
I started out as playing as just an extra, some of the guards and whatnot.
He was
flopping
our
on
go-to
stage and
murder guy.
dying multiple times.
This
because
guy
this
will
guy-
missile himself across the stage.
Not anymore. Not
I
anymore.
stabbed him, and it's like I'm just supposed to throw him, right? And he does.
I'm just supposed to drop.
The
but-
actor is the one that does the controlling whenever there's falls on stage, not the person the one that's getting attacked is the one that has control of the situation. So I'm like, okay, he's gonna fall over. I stab him, and all of a sudden he becomes a missile launcher and shoots across the stage, almost takes out that television. I'm like, whoa, this knife has some punch to it.
Yeah. James, what do you know about the famous musician that plays Bobby?
I have no idea.
Ogre?
No. I didn't
Yeah,
know.
he's lead singer of a band called Sick Puppies.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Good God.
I
did not know
believe.
that.
I believe. He does a lot of other acting for the character or the guy who plays Grave Robber, Cameron Zudnich. I think I pronounced it right. Zudinci. And
You know everything about Repo.
I do. His last name is weird. All right.
If you guys
But it
haven't
was-
figured this out, this is actually, when it says genetic opera, this is a musical.
Yeah.
They sing throughout the whole thing, but it's very, very gothic and dark. It's really cool.
But yeah,
Given the
Ogre-
costumes and the fact that Sean has not put that knife down, how many knives do you carry over the course of a day?
Give me my friend. Don't take him out, Sean.
Got my karambits. Oh my gosh, my punch dagger. I'm not having my punch dagger on me right now. You normally have a punch dagger. I've started playing a little bit with ballet songs, which
I'm
is
not showing this to
similar.
my son.
Or butterfly knives.
And I normally have a punch dagger. Sometimes I have throwing knives. That used to be my old corpse decapitating knife before we started Grave Tales.
If you guys think that this is just a character,
This is Sean.
I get my animal skulls from this man.
No, I was just about to mention, Sean is the only friend I have who collects skulls. I mean, like people collect stamps. You collect skulls too?
I get mine from him.
Okay, rephrase that. He's the only that actively
Check
takes
out his Facebook
animals.
page. His Facebook page. He shares, like people share cats on Facebook. He's like, I got these skulls.
And I can arrange them very artistically. So I will
Yeah.
take your dead cats and I will make it a beautiful work of art you could hang up on your wall.
Folks, this is
Promise.
Class Act Productions. You guys do everything right here at Springfield Improv?
We do some stuff at 417, not 417, 319. 319 down the street where we did Jaws.
Right.
And we do some
Which was a
Valentine's
fun
Day
show.
shows down there
That's
as
a really
well.
fun show.
So
But
that's
we
also
like it
fun.
here at the Springfield Improv, of course.
Oh
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
They,
This is
they do have an open mic night on Thursdays and
yeah.
a lot of great stuff right
They
down
have Mike
here.
Night. They have actually improv shows.
Right.
too,
How many years has the Springfield Improv been open? I mean,
Oh, we've
I
been
remember when I
here.
was at-
Right here down on South Street. Right
we
down
moved here season
downtown.
3. We moved over here season 3 of Buffy, but this used to be. It was something. It was
This
a
used to
different
be the
improv
comedy
place.
club
I
a
don't
long time ago.
Sure.
All right, this
I
this
feel like
location's
it
been
did.
here forever.
It used to be a bank.
Well, that's way back in the day. There's actually
It
an
used
old
to be,
How old are you?
When we moved over here, it was the Skinny Improv.
Skinny
Right.
Improv.
Because
That's right.
Skinny Improv used to be where some nightclub is now.
Right,
Right, on the square.
And then they moved over here when we were across the street.
But
at
you
the
guys have
Dark
done so many productions, and they're all right here. So, gotta ask, who's the biggest troublemaker on set?
Why are you pointing at me?
Oh, all three of them. I'm the good one. It's dumb.
Me.
It
Between
varies.
the three
One
of
of
I
us,
like to injure myself. a lot.
Kevin
So, I
Kepi
mean,
has had to tell us to be quiet, probably the most.
I'm
This,
pretty
this
sure.
three right
yeah,
here.
Pretty sure most of Kevin Kepi's psychosis comes from working with me and Sean.
Well, no, in particular, I suspect. I mean,
Me-
I'm kind of, I
Me-
can get a little wild too.
Who's had the worst line mess up on stage?
One time during Thankless Job, I forgot my lines and just started going, peas and carrots, peas and carrots. Nobody noticed.
I actually last show when we did the show called Notorious Mr. Id, I improv'd my way through an entire monologue because I decided not to learn that one because, well, for one, it's supposed to sound like it's made up anyway.
Right.
So I just made it even worse by improvising my way through it.
Which added to the quirk of it.
It did, and there was another scene which the biggest mess up was me having to drag a very large man across stage.
Josh
And
Yarem.
Josh Yarem is about 6'6" and is probably about 250.
He's about
I'm
3 at least.
5'6" and I weigh about 130.
Originally, I wrote in the script, I wrote Mr. Id, for those of you that saw that show. And in it, Pippin kills his brother because I'm his evil conscience.
With a power
tries
drill, by the way.
To nudge him into doing it, right? And I knew it was going to be Pippin that was going to be playing the lead in Mr. Id.
Because you're my dog.
And so I knew I wanted to pair him up with somebody that was bigger than him, stronger than him, more handsome all around, which is a lot of the guys in this company. But I knew it was going to be a big
Sorry.
guy. So Josh Yarem, he can edit that out, I hope.
I can't.
He won't.
Sorry.
So I even wrote in the script. Lucas, Pippin's character, drags Halliburt's into the closets. We'll probably do this in a blackout because there's going to be a big size dissonance between the actors. Kevin, we get to this part, and he's like, Pippin, drag him across stage.
Like, there's gonna be a blackout, right?
And
Nope.
And he's like, nope, you're going to drag him like you're dragging a corpse. And during the second show, he almost broke his back.
I
trying to drag
pulled
him.
a
He
muscle in my shoulder, and I
Okay.
slipped in blood twice and kicked Josh in the back of the head.
Oh my god.
And eventually, I just started screaming as loud as I can, pulling across stage. Eventually, I got him back there, and Sean's sitting there improv going, "Yeah, that's right, scream, scream, get it,
Bring it out! Come on, Lucas, you can do it!
put your back into it."
I'm just stalling for time because I'm freaking out like that little guy is not going to get Josh on the stage. If I help him, it ruins the illusion that I'm in his mind. So I'm just like, please get him through. And he did it.
Folks, this has been Springfield Improv and Class Act Productions. Thank you guys so much for coming. Oh, we got to talk about our artist spotlight. I forgot to do that because we have a lot of great friends. This month, as you guys know, our artist spotlight is the amazing David Falk. I love his work.
Oh yeah.
He's
Absolutely.
got
Great friend.
he's the artist guest for the Midnight Hollow Fest. You guys need to check that out in St. Roberts. It's designed for people as creepy as you.
Oh, nice.
And he's
It's,
I actually have a piece of his artwork.
It's at the end of September. You
Where-
do? Which part? Which one do you have?
I have one of his Harley Quinns. I bought it for my girlfriend.
Well, the fans just saw that Harley Quinn roll across the screen.
and he's got a calendar
Awesome.
coming up.
He does have a calendar come up. He's also in our charity calendar that we created for the Heroes Alliance. David Fott is an amazing artist. You can see, you've seen, since we started talking, you've seen a lot of his art go by. Be sure and check him out on Facebook. He's a great guy and he loves to do commissions. And he's this month's artist spotlight. Next month you're going to see somebody different. I'm actually going to talk to these folks and have them help me pick someone for our artist spotlight. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that conversation at all, but we'll try.
Can we incorporate Howard the Duck somehow?
I knew you were going to get Howard the Duck on the show
You know
somehow.
what? Howard the Duck is awesome, and he needs his own movie.
He had one
He had
of
his own
days.
movie.
No, I know, but he needs a reboot.
Oh,
Especially with Seth Green voicing him.
I'm never going to be on the show again. That's 3 times.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Anyway, thank you guys so much for coming out. I look forward to Repo the Genetic Opera is September
22nd.
And remember,
This Friday.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, it's coming this Friday, so you guys got to.
this Friday, remember, you can see them at the hotel and Dungeons of Doom as well. And just
this Friday, to September 28th, right here at the Springfield Improv.
2 showings, 7:30 and 10 o'clock. And
22nd.
the 22nd.
Yes.
Yes.
And
And
definitely 20th. It's cool. Just wanted
It's
to
the
super
22nd.
clarify.
And actually,
the
this year-
22nd, Friday.
I'm going to throw this out there that each show, there's going to be one thing that can get someone into the Hotel Terror and Dungeons of Doom for free. There's going to be one for each show. So if
Nice.
they get that seat, they will get in. We'll announce
Oh,
that
really?
at
I
the top
didn't
of the
know
show.
about this.
I offered up my 2 free passes for that.
That's
There you go.
awesome, dude.
Cool.
Class Act Productions,
Yeah.
Repo the Genetic Opera, right here at Springfield Improv. Next time you will see us will be from Hot Springs, Arkansas. SpaCon. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube page as well as like us on Facebook, and you'll be entered to win that Xbox One at the Gaming Arts Media Expo or Game, which is October.
oh gosh, I want to say 20. No, it's the middle of October, 15, something like that. We'll put it. It's right here. It's right here on the screen.
Thanks, Adam.
Now they're going to do more research.
Oh, the
So
Sour
for
Patch.
Class Act Productions, of course, Adam Bass, I am Hawk, and this is Fanatics and the Fan.